Welcome to SOS Videos, short overview summaries of your notes. So our main concept is that algebraic expressions that represent a situation can be explained in words. So some of the reminders for the vocabulary: when we interpret, we're going to change numbers and math symbols into words that represent a situation. A constant is a number by itself. It does not have a variable next to it. Variables are letters that represent a concept. A term could be a constant, or a variable by itself, or a constant and a variable together. And when that happens, like 3D, the constant is called the coefficient. When something is equivalent, it is equal in value. So our example, 5 dimes are equivalent to 2 quarters. 5 dimes is worth 50 cents. 2 quarters are worth 50 cents. So they are equivalent in value, even though they don't look the same. So let's practice with a couple of problems. A good practice is for you to stop the video, do the problem by yourself, read it, underline, box whatever words, and answer the questions. Then start the video again and see how you did. If you weren't as accurate, then change that to reflect the video. If you really have difficulty doing this on your own, then please watch the video a few times to make sure you understand it. Okay, so let's get started. You and a few friends eat at a restaurant where each entree costs $18 and drinks are included. Tax is 7%, so what we should do is each entree costs $18. The tax is 7%, and you tip the waiter. The expression that can be used to represent the full amount that has to be paid is 18e plus 0.07 or 7 hundredths times 18e plus 20. Anytime you're given an expression or an equation, you should box it at the very least, because this is interpreting the situation. So you're either going to explain it or use it, apply it to the situation, or both. If you have a highlighter, that's even better. Highlight the entire expression. Remember, this is an expression because it does not have an equal sign. So, what do the following terms represent? So let's think about it. Tax is 7%. If I change 7% to a decimal, I move a decimal place over 2 to the left, and this becomes 0.07. So I know that's the 7% tax, and we pay tax on a meal in a restaurant. So this entire thing is going to be the price of the meal, which means over here also is the price of the meal. Now this $20 is our constant. It's separate. So what would the $20 represent? Well, remember, besides paying for the meal and the tax on the meal, you also tip the waiter. So this would be the tip. A lot of times we use the word gratuity, and that means a tip that is given for service. Okay, so let's take a look. What do the following terms represent? Well, the 18 is the price of one entree, the cost of one entree. E must be the number of entrees. But when I take the price of one entree and I multiply it by how many entrees we had, the quantity, then the entire number is going to be the cost of all the entrees. Remember, cost per or value per means the price for one times quantity, how many I have, would be our total value or our total cost. So remember again, this is the 7% tax on the meal. So 7% times the price of the meal is the tax. How much money in tax that you paid. And the $20 by itself is our tip, or sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the gratuity. Okay, let's take a look at the second question. So, Roslyn Middle School Spotlight Club is selling tickets for their spring performance. Adult tickets cost $7. So I'm going to underline adult tickets and circle $7. Student tickets are $3 each. We also have ads for the printed program, and they're $50 per page. So $50 for one page of ads. The expression below shows the revenue, all the money collected by the Spotlight Club. So again, remember, if you're given an expression, let's box it. And if you have a highlighter, even better, so that it stands out. We may have to explain it or apply it to the situation. So what does each variable represent? Remember again, we're always going to have, if we have a number times a variable, one of them is going to represent the value per, which means the price for one, and the other, either variable or number, is going to represent the quantity, how many things I have. And if I take the value for one and I multiply it by the quantity, I am going to get the total value. So here, I just want to know what that variable stands for. Well, 7 in this explanation was the amount of one adult ticket, the price for one adult ticket. So if this is the price for one adult ticket, then the other part of this term means that it has to represent the quantity. So what does A represent? The number of adult tickets. I already know the price of one. Now I need to know how many I have. Okay, for B, I look where it says 3B. Well, if student tickets are $3 each, that's the price for one student ticket, then the B has to be our quantity, and that is the number of student tickets. And finally, C. Well, the $50 that we spoke about here is $50 for one page. So then C has to represent the quantity, and that's the number of ad pages. Now, what does each term represent? So if I take the price of one adult ticket and I multiply it by the quantity, how many adult tickets I have, that final price is going to be the total cost of all the adult tickets. How much one is times how many I have. So 3B, the term, if 3 is the price of one student ticket, and B is the quantity, how many student tickets I have, then the price of one times how many I have will be the total cost of all the student tickets. How about 50C? 50 is the price of one ad page, which means C was the number of ad pages. If I take the price of one ad page and I multiply it by how many ad pages I have, that's going to be the total cost of all the ad pages. Okay, read the next two to yourself. You're going to pause the video, work on your answer, and then start the video again and see if you were correct. Okay, let's see how you did. How much money was raised if 100 adult tickets 143 student tickets and 9 ad pages were sold. So we're going to take the expression that you had above, write that, and 100 adult tickets is our A value. Remember the number of adult tickets. Our B value is 143, the number of student tickets, and our C value is 9, the number of ad pages. Substitute that in, do the math, and then add that together. And the amount of money raised, our revenue, was $1,579. Now, if someone donated $375 to the Spotlight Club, how would the expression above change? So we're looking at this expression. This is a one-time fee, a one-time amount that somebody is going to donate. So we would simply add that number to the expression, and your final expression would look like this, with 375 as a constant. And that is your SOS video on algebraic expressions and how they can be explained in words.